are here, but mostly Disney is the name of the podcast here to play. Laugh along to what they say. Disney fans from far away, but mostly Disney, that's what they say. But mostly Disney every single day. So tune in, grab your mouse ears, let's all give a cheer for Disney. Times are here.
Hey guys, welcome to the But Mostly Disney podcast. It's funny, I start with that, hey, I don't know why I do that voice. I don't talk like that ever, except for when I start the podcast. And then I was watching something last night. We were scrolling through YouTube with my wife, and this guy started his show like that, and I immediately changed, stopped. I didn't want to hear it. Guy was way too much. So maybe I'm too much. If you can get past that, Andrew's much more reserved, and he's coming to you live from Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston, home of Mr. Rhett Butler. Yes, sir. It's funny, I was watching baseball last night, and they're like, coming to you from the ballpark. And I'm like, that could be a good, podcast voice. And my wife's like, please don't do that.
I've always wanted to do Harry Carey. That would be my... But I want to do...
First, we have to drink a 12-pack of Budweiser.
Right. Yeah. But I want to do Will Ferrell's version of him. With, hey, what's your favorite planet? Mine's the sun.
You gotta shake your head.
I'm curious like a cat. That's why my friends call me Whiskers. I don't know. A foot long would equal roughly a nickel, depending on the strength of the yen. My buddies and I did that. I mean, we buried that. Join us next week. We're going to have our guest Albert Einstein. What? I've just been told he's been dead for 70 years. We're going to try to get it anyway. Cubs win. Boy, if you're still listening now, you truly are.
We have nothing better to do.
Right. But this is it's the wedding singer thing, right? I have a microphone. You don't.
There's a guy who does the first ever baseball game as Harry Carey. It's the Calvary Cubs versus the Bethlehem Braves.
I'll have to look that up.
Hilarious. You have to look it up.
It's so funny. And so my little brother played for the Marlins, played minor league ball. He got drafted out of college. I played a bunch of baseball. I was terrible at it. I don't know anything about baseball, but man, I do love Harry Carey. I mean, he's just fantastic. My wife will be thrilled that we threw that into rotation on here.
Him and Bob Uecker together. Whew.
So we were trying to decide what to talk about tonight. And sometimes we plan this out and sometimes we don't. But on my feed, almost constantly of the Disney stuff I look at has been two things. The Mickey's Not So Scary, how it's going, and then everybody going before the party, or at least annual pass holders, and getting a lot done with no lines.
Yeah, I've seen several videos of people going around 12 o'clock and there'd be a 20-minute wait for Mine Train. It's like, what? I think they close the park at 4 or 6.
I think they close at 6 or 7. Tony says logged in a couple minutes too late to have any context as to what was going on. Maybe that's how I should start the shows from now on. Yeah, just start it. Total non sequitur. You have no idea what's going on. Hang around to find out. Maybe we'll get more listeners that way. Yeah. So I think I'm going to try. So I have plans, right? And they don't always work out. I'm going to try to go down. I'd like to be there November 8th. It may or may not happen. I think there's a pass holder preview the 7th and the 8th for the Zootopia thing at Animal Kingdom. So I could do that. And I would love to go to Jolly Nights. But what I really want to do is go, I think, to Magic Kingdom and see what those lines are like before the party. Because you could still get Hollywood done before the party starts.
Absolutely.
Right. And so I've noticed everybody going to the parks and, maybe you rope drop, maybe you don't, but you jump in. And then the next thing you stay till 3. I think the party folks kind of start coming in at 4. Maybe that's when they're allowed. And then they can jump in and get some rides done. And and you get out then and go have dinner somewhere.
So the 7th and the 8th is the weekend. So that sounds like a research trip for both of us.
Yeah, I think it sounds nice.
I think it's a good idea.
Um,
Only for purposes of the podcast.
but exactly, this is work, guys. But I would like to see what that looks like. You know, how much could I get done? Because sometimes I even feel like on regular days it's like a false economy of I think I'm going to go and get everything done, and then 2 lines start, and 5th and 6th are the previews, so it opens on the 7th for everyone. So I'd have to be there Thursday. I don't know. We'll have to see. I did opening nights of Jollywood last year, and I guess we'll get to
we did
that
as well. That was fair. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So, you know, the thing is, for an annual pass holder, it's expensive still to go. You know, we get $10 off. So going and trying to make it a whole day, you know, I guess you could. I guess if you're going to go to the party, but it was I did not enjoy buying those tickets last year. I'll tell you that much, especially for 3 of us.
Yeah. Well, $149 a piece.
Right.
So,
but you can't. I've heard other pass holders say that they thought it should be free. I don't think you can do that, because I think it would just fill up with pass holders. It would be too many.
I've heard this comment before, and I agree with it, but then I don't agree with it because I'm a pass holder. That Disney doesn't like annual pass holders, especially the out-of-state ones. And I'm like, okay, I get it, because we don't go down there and buy all the merchandise, and we'll be back in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. But to have a perk for a party night to wear, say Jollywood Nights, let's just say it's $100 for us to go instead of $200, or $150 instead of $200, make it a substantial decrease as a perk for being a pass holder.
Half off, maybe.
Yeah, half off, 25 off, something. You know, we're down there spending money. You know, even you still got to eat. You're still gonna, you're still gonna buy coffees. You're gonna buy drinks, popcorn, whatever. Popcorn buckets. The last Halloween party we went to, I think we bought every popcorn bucket that Magic Kingdom had.
I'd be interested to see some numbers on how many return guests does Disney get? Like how many are one and dones? How many folks go to Disney one time, love it, have a great vacation, but then never come back? I wonder what that's like. Because again, I think we've talked about this on here before, but in the restaurant business, one regular makes up for like 10 transient customers. So if you've got one guy that comes 3 days a week or whatever, compared to someone who just pops in and out once, has dinner, on vacation or whatever, and moves away. So, I mean, but I think Disney's been upping their pass holder stuff. They like giving out the magnets. They do the previews for the Zootopia coming up, and they do offer some perks.
The Morocco.
But I agree with you. I feel like there could be a Jollywood night pass holder. I mean, if it was half off, it would be amazing, right?
Yeah. I get it. You're making that extra ticket price, whether, well, okay, let's be real. They start Halloween parties in August now.
Right.
So they're making their money on those parties. If you took 4 of them, let's just say 4 Thursdays, because it's December, the 4 Thursdays in December are pass people only night. I don't think, and you charge them $100. I guarantee you they would sell them out, and they wouldn't lose any money doing that either.
Well, and I mean, look, I realize it's mid-October, right? But it's sold out.
Yeah.
And Not So Scary is sold out for the rest of the year already. Opening night for Mickey's Not So Scary Christmas, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is sold out. So the first night you could go now would be on the 13th of November.
Right.
Jollywood's wide open. I don't think it's as popular. And I had a good time. So they sold out all of Mickey's Not So Scary.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
They had the first 3 weeks sold out in like the first day. And this is in
Wow.
August.
That's unbelievable.
At $200 a person.
Right. Right. Because, all right, well, let's just slide into that then. So $169 to $229 per person.
Yeah, depending on what night you want to go.
Now, I've watched a couple videos of people going and having a great time, but I've seen a lot of people, which, by the way, side note, I did read something the other day that there's and I can't remember if it was on the WDW Clubhouse or somewhere else, but they said that they went to renew their pass and they don't use it very often, but they just like having it. Like they're willing to pay for it, whether they use it or not. And they called and went to pay for it, and they gave them an extra year through 2027. Just because the lady looked at it and said you hadn't used it much, they gave her an extra year, just a little pixie dust to sprinkle out over. How nice is that?
Well, that's awesome.
I love seeing stuff like that. So $229 a person to go from let's say you can get in at 4, right? I think that's what it does.
Get it 4.
So in at 4. Oh, sorry, that's the Christmas party, $169. I don't even have pricing for, well, same thing. 119 to $229.
Okay.
So $229 is the top, depending on which date you go.
That's got to be weekend. That could be Friday or Saturday, I would think.
But there's free candy.
Yeah. Mars candy.
Right. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't been to Not So Scary in a long time. You get candy and good candy, right? It's full-size candy usually, right? Isn't it big candy?
Some of it is. A lot of it's the fun size.
Okay. And then there's treats at certain places that are free. And do they do cider or something?
Cider and I think like Gatorade or something like that. But then they got all the specialty food that you can buy. Right.
And they have a dance party.
Several DJs.
Right. You meet characters in their Halloween costume. There's a parade.
The cadaver dance.
Right. There's a hocus pocus. So there's a show. Some merch, specialty bites and sips. And then they have, some cool photo pass stuff. So there's definitely some stuff that's unique to going to it.
Oh yeah. Parade's different. And
right.
The Headless Horseman's the best part,
and we went, and spoiler alert, we did the same thing with Jollywood Nights. We kind of did a hybrid version of it where we did rides and the event. Because the idea for me, and my wife did this when we went at Christmas one year, we kind of tried to jump on the rides while everybody else was doing the other stuff. Like we thought we could go, it would be a lower capacity crowd and we could get in there and really, so see, Tony, and this is exactly what Tony says right here, that the parade and the fireworks are worth it. Just going to see that. And I mean, and the lines for the, for the costume, like the costume characters, it's crazy long, right? Like you could spend an hour to get to see, to get this, I guess, at least once a year for most people, chance to get that picture, right?
So we went the last 3 years. We didn't go this year, but the first year we went, we drove down the day of the party. So okay, that was going to be our Magic Kingdom day, right? Stayed the night, went to Epcot Hollywood Studios the next night on Saturday, and came home on Sunday. And it wasn't too terribly bad price back then. Like I said, I think it was $159 for pass holders. But that was the first year we went, and we saw everything. That was in September. Well, we went this time last year. The first 2 times we went in September. This past year we went in October, and the crowd level was substantially larger from September to October because we're getting closer to Halloween. And we kind of said, okay, when the parade starts, we're gonna go do the big rides. We did Tron and
Right.
Seven Dwarfs and all that stuff. But what got me was I thought a lot of people would leave after the first parade and the first set of fireworks and all that stuff. Because we said we'll wait and see we'll see the parade at the last one at 11 o'clock, and it was still fairly packed at 11 o'clock. I was surprised because previous years, after the first fireworks and parade, it was a ghost town.
Well, if I was a parent and when we did it, here's the difference, right? Is that quickly, because we started going, I think my twins were 1, I know. And maybe my oldest was 2 the first time we went. And then we started going every year, really because my wife and I liked it. But the kids got to come along. So pretty early on, they realized, hey, if we miss something, we're coming back next year. And don't get me wrong, we have our targets. We really focus on things. We kind of, we start planning very early for our trip and get it all together. So we know what we have to do. And then one year we didn't get on Snow White the first year it was open in 7D. And so we went to Key West, and then I surprised them on the way back and stopped for a day. And I was just speaking of pricing. So my kids were in school because they were doing homework in the car. So they're all graduated now. But I remember I spent right at $500 for a day at Disney for 5 of us, right? Mm-hmm. All buying tickets, right at $100. And I was like, oh, brother, I thought I was going to, now I'd kill a relative to be able to take 5 people to Disney for $500. But we went back and did that. And so my kids are pretty good about not having to get on something, but I still do it now, but as an annual pass holder and going as much as I've gone and taking a kid every now and again, the way we've been doing it, I still need to get a certain amount of value out of what I've spent for that day. Right. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't mind spending a lot of money. Sometimes I like to save money too, but I don't mind splurging on something if there's value. But I feel like if you're going to these parties, you've really got to figure out what would make it overpriced and what's going to make it a value. Right. So like if you're Tony and you say, hey, I want to see the fireworks, the parade, and the characters, then you can focus on that. And maybe you don't ride any rides, right? Maybe, or attractions, sorry. But, you go and do that. And if something's got a low wait time, you go jump on it, but your focus is truly the party, doing it that way. Or if you try to do a hybrid, I don't know that that's the best strategy, right? It'd be really expensive to try to find out. Like in my head, I was thinking, well, maybe I'll go down and try to figure out how I could go back and forth on that. But I'm not sure that I have enough money to do that way, right? So, or do you go hoping for they're capping the numbers of park goers at a certain amount, so lines are going to be shorter. But a couple people, and from very disparate places have said that it was overcrowded, that the staff was overwhelmed, that they couldn't figure, that the food was difficult to get, that the lines were too long for the rides. They really ran, and I know people love to complain, so take it with a grain of salt, but not favorable.
I will say last year when we went, I'm not going to complain about Disney. That's just me. I go down there and I have fun. I know what I'm going to do. We know we always go with the mindset it's going to be busy. If it happens not to be busy, hey, it's a perk. But talking about food, we went to Cosmic Rays, and getting food was the easy part. Finding a table to sit at was the hard part because they had the Playhouse Disney dance party inside. And, my daughter scoped it out, found us a table, and we were good. But just seeing the amount of people that were coming in, trying to find a place to sit, then you go back outside, and the line. Okay, so Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. My youngest daughter wasn't tall enough to ride Tron yet, so we went and did that while my oldest and my wife went to ride Tron. And that place is never packed. It was packed. It was full of people waiting They did their show, waiting for people to come in. They, as they were getting candy too. But I've never seen that place full. It was full.
Interesting.
The line to see Jack and Sally, it's like I say, it starts at 4. Party doesn't kick off till 7. At 7:30, it was an hour and 30-minute wait to see Jack and Sally. And it only been open for 30 minutes. Technically
Well,
open.
and that's the only time they're out, right? Like they're not in the park any other time.
Mm-mm.
Which kind of
So
begs.
it going from. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but that exclusivity, I kind of like, right? Like I bought when I was in Disneyland this summer, I bought this button down, kind of Hawaiian shirt that I think is pretty cool. And then I see it on the Disney store. And I'm like, oh man, I thought you had to be in Disneyland to get that,
Yeah.
And I kind of like some stuff that way. Like Lou always talks about keeping Cars Land in California, keeping it separate and different. But I mean, and then there's the other thing. What if you just popped into one of these parties like, oh yeah, come tonight, pay $150. You could, you're going to get food and treats and your kids can come. We know to expect no seating at Cosmic Rays. But again, I do think Disney's gotten to a place where it just requires some planning, right? You got to ask some questions before you go. You're not really popping in to grab a little magic anymore.
And I've seen it change so much. As my first time going to a Halloween party, I haven't been to a Christmas party, and one day we'll go. But I've been there in Christmas. I kind of get the idea of how that Christmas party works. But first time it was in 2007, which was one of the first times they had a Halloween party. And it was $35. But the caveat that was, it wasn't as big. There was the parade. They had a small show. It wasn't an elaborate show they had now. I've seen it grow from 2007 to now, so 18 years of going to those parties in between, to where it's a big event. It's like, if you go, one time it was back by Splash Mountain, and that's where they have all the cast members come out. And there was hundreds upon hundreds coming out, all decorated up in their Halloween costume to go work. And just the amount of people that's there, what it takes to run it, I can see why it costs $180, $200. Because that's a huge production to put that on. And people are like, oh, they're just after money. But if you just look at the value you get for it, like I say, you can do it for different things, parades, fireworks, the characters, or if you're just saying, hey, we're going here, we're going to get some Halloween theme, but we're going for the rides, that's how you spend your money. So is there a hybrid way of doing it? I think so. I think we've done it a little bit that way. But you're not going to be able to do all of one and all of the other. You're going to have to kind of divide and conquer and say, hey, what are we here for? What are we doing it? And then you get your bang for your buck. But if you go in saying, I'm going to knock everything out, you're going to be disappointed.
Well, and so I'm looking. So we did Jollywood last year, and I liked it. I thought it was a pretty awesome event. I think the first year. Well, I mean, who knows? People complain about everything, right? Here I am complaining about stuff. Not really. I'm just trying to paint a picture. But we loved it. We had a great time. I think they do advertise it as favorite attractions with lower wait times. That mileage may vary. We got some rides in, but some of the shows were so good. I kind of felt bad. I felt like I'd missed some stuff because I would have liked to have just focused on the shows. It's another case like most of Disney, you just cannot do it all, in one seating. Cause we did do a little table-esque dinner at the Brown Derby, which was kind of light fare, like a real shortened menu, but that was awesome. And they had a piano player in there playing Christmas carols. I mean, I could have sat in there for another hour, but you feel kind of rushed because you want to get back out in the park and you don't want to miss anything. And that runs, I was trying to see the times for, so that's 7:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. So it seems like it's a good amount of time, but it's really not. And for $160, $189.
We got lucky when we did it, it rained. So there wasn't a lot of people. And it wasn't like pouring down on it. It was like misty, cold, cold for Florida rain. But we could, so we were able to do all the shows and do all the rides and everything, but kind of felt like because it was such a low turnout, we had to park ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I rode Rise Resistance back to back because I was at one point, I was the only person in the interrogation room. That's how slow it was.
Did you like that?
Felt kind of odd.
Yeah.
I'm screaming when it drops. I'm like, woo, wait a minute, I'm the only one in here.
we felt kind of the same way. We were there the day it reopened after COVID. Kind of not really on purpose. It's just when our trip was planned and they announced they're opening it, we said, okay, we're going to go. There was no one there. Like we did all of Magic Kingdom and had a sit down lunch and we're done by like noon. We'd done it all. It was unbelievably, it was awesome to ride rides. It was terrible to be in masks. But it felt strange, right? Like it felt so weird because as much as we say we all hate these lines, it kind of adds to it, right? Like I've had some good times in lines with my kids while waiting, playing that game Heads Up or, doing something fun with the kids.
I go back to the party aspect of it. You gotta, if you're doing it during a week time frame, I think you have to think of it like this. I'm not going to go to Magic Kingdom that trip. This party is going to be my Magic Kingdom trip.
Right. And the first time you say that, the first time we did it, that's exactly what we did. I had a sales conference. I was down in Orlando. It was our anniversary. My wife came down Thanksgiving time. She got there at like 2:30 and we checked into the Floridian, or I'd already checked in, went straight over to Magic Kingdom, and that night was but I didn't have an annual pass then either. So I had to buy tickets anyway. I was going to buy a Magic Kingdom ticket and that was our Magic Kingdom day. It's exactly like you said. We just made, especially from a financial standpoint, because again, I have a family of 5. So for my wife and I to go below $300 on Jolly Holiday, no big deal. But once you start adding these kids in and then the food, and that's something we could probably do a whole show on, is the planning and the seepage of money that you don't think about. Like, oh, I'm going to Disney. Yeah, I'm going to drive. So there's $200 in gas and I've spent $1,000 on my hotel room. Okay, we'll spend money on food, but you don't really think about it. Oh, food's expensive. Especially again, for me as a family of 5, you're looking at easy $250 for any kind of sit down meal in that park, right?
And you thought, I'm going to get everybody an ice cream bar. That's $100.
That's exactly correct. I mean, it just adds up so quickly. And I'm not a good planner anyway, as you may or may not know. But we're leaving tomorrow for Orlando. And we were just talking about that. Like, how do we budget? How can we do it better so that we know what we're going to spend? So I might have to get my wife on for that, because I don't think I'd be very good telling anyone how to plan. That's right. The only reason I have any money is because of my wife. So.
Mine too. She's like, you want to pay the bills? No, that's what I got you for. Thank you. Yeah.
It works much better. Haven't been in the hospital. I've started listening to her more. It's going to keep me alive.
Good idea.
So interesting. Magic Kingdom is a half an hour earlier. They close at midnight. So same party, a little more money, but a little less time. Now you can get in at 4. And maybe that's the hybrid strand, because you got folks leaving or still in line, is jump in and try to get a couple of rides done between 4 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the party for a while.
That's something else too. If you got to figure out what time you want to go, because if you're going to go at 4, you've got to stand in what I call the cow lines with the rest of the cattle waiting for the gate to open at 4:00, or do you wait till actual opening time at 7 and go? Because or in between that, because if you go at 4 and 7, you're going to be waiting to get in. Yeah,
I think earlier is better.
I do too.
I think to do it the best, you've got to be there as close to 4 as you can. And look, it's Disney. They'll probably let you in 15 minutes early, right?
Let's see, why not?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're going So we're doing Lou Mangello's Momentum conference this weekend. My wife's doing it with me. So we will check into a Hilton at Disney Springs on Thursday. But I think I looked at the hours for the park to see, because there are some group tickets, which is kind of cool, and I didn't even know you could do it after 1 and after 5. So we're going to do Magic Kingdom because we're there, and as it turns out, I think Thursday, Friday, and Sunday are all holiday parties.
Okay.
So the only night we could go ended up being Saturday, as it was. I'm looking again now. So Saturday, park hours. Yeah, so Thursday, ticketed event. Friday, ticketed event. And I believe Sunday was a ticketed event as well. So Saturday's it.
They're pretty much now, between now and October 31st, it's every night almost.
That's pretty wild. I mean,
I think it's funny that they'll do Halloween parties starting in August till, the 31st. They'll start the Christmas parties up. But the 24th or the 25th, that's the last one. Bam. They don't run it to the end of the year. That's because we went last year, like, oh, maybe we can catch a party. Nope, 25th, Christmas Day is the last party. But I'm thinking, you'll run Halloween parties 2 months before. Why not run it out to the end of the year?
I'd like to see more of the after hours parties pop back up.
We enjoyed that too. That is a part. That's a night and a part to yourself right there.
Right.
You have to have parties.
And that's what I think people are hoping for with some of these parties. And I don't,
Yeah.
Again, you're going to get some rides done, but
You're right, Tony. He does go on vacation.
I feel like the last couple of years I've tried to look at the after hours events, and it really wasn't going on. So looking at it here real quickly, after hours Magic Kingdom for $175, but January 12th to July 27th. After hours at Disney Hollywood, January 14th to September 12th. Epcot, and that's $125, so $50. And then at Epcot, January 22nd to September 24th, 2026. So all those are for next year. They're not doing any more this year, which, kind of makes sense, I guess.
We did after hours. The first one we ever did was at Animal Kingdom, which not a lot to do at night at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, but I'd still like to be in there again. I miss that place.
Pandora was cool
because
all the bioluminescence and all that stuff, and getting on all the rides was easy. Expedition Everest at night, you have to do that. But that's really it. After that, there's not a lot open. But that was cool. We did Hollywood Studios at night on a after hours in another event where it rained, and it was I say more accessible. The food options that are free are more because you can get all the popcorn, all the ice cream, all the soda you want to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you get a little more bang for your buck on the after hours events.
Well, I mean, they're about the same price, but it's interesting. It's really like every other Monday. Mm-hmm. So for Magic Kingdom in January, it's the 12th and 19th, both Mondays. A week off, 2 more, then a week off, another one. Only 2 in March. There's 2 in April. There's 4 in May. So if you're Mondays in May are the time, and it's $200 and $189. And then 3 in June, 2 in July, and that's it. Now, when we started going, the park was open till 1 or 2 on its own.
Yeah, I wish they'd go back to that.
Yeah, I miss that, and I'm sure it costs money. I'm sure there's a financial reason why they do it, and it would make sense if I was on the board of directors, but I'm not. I'm just a guy who wants to wander these parks as late as is humanly possible. But that's really the thing, right? We all want something a little bit different. We all want to go, and that's the thing with these parties. You've got to decide what you think is best, how you want to do it, and then make that plan and be happy with it, right? That's the other thing. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to miss something. You're not going to get to something. So you hope for the best and expect the worst.
You gotta grow into and remember and just deal with it as every party is going to be different. They may do something at one party because they used to have live characters on a lot of the rides.
Oh yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean used to have the walk across the catwalk at the top, and the guy in the jail. They don't do that anymore. I give them credit. They try to reinvent it every time they have it. So don't get your hopes up thinking something's going to be there if it might not be there.
It's the truth. That's really all I got for this week. I got to go pack.
Yeah.
You got anything else for us?
No, just if you go to the parties, have an open mind. That's all I can say.
And that's good advice for the parks in general, right?
Yeah. Just
No matter what
realize
you're
you're
doing.
not going to get everything done you think. No matter what spreadsheet you talk about with your family on a plane or in a car, you're not
So
going to
true.
get it done.
It's so true. And I have found that some of the best things have happened to me when I've missed something else.
It's fortuitous, yeah.
Right.
What do they call it? Spontaneity.
Serendipity.
Serendipitous. That's it.
That's right. Because it just ends up leading to something you didn't see coming and it works out better. But Let us know in the comments. Let us know. Hop over to Mostly Disney on Facebook. It's a wide open group. Anyone can join as long as you behave, and tell us what you think about these parties in here. And then don't forget to come and tell your friends and join us in the chat. Again, we've been pretty good getting Tuesdays done. And I think we'll be able to do it next week, and maybe we'll have somebody and we can talk a little bit about momentum, which is a great way to do whatever it is you love and maybe make a little money doing it, which is eventually our goal here at Mostly Disney. We're just going real slow. But it is something I'm passionate about, and the only way it makes sense, though I would sit here and talk to Andrew in a microphone if no one ever listened, is to get some folks in and listen and join our little group and talk and chat. So
Sure.
you can really be part of this. If you don't like the topic we're talking about, tell us in the chat. We'll change it. We're that we're just agile. We can maneuver quickly. But check us out on all the social media. We both have YouTube channels. Andrew's is Mouse Gears, mine, but Mostly Disney. I just put up the first half of our California trip. It's one of the longest. It's the second longest video. My Disney cruise video, I think, which is the first one. Please don't ever watch that. There's no need. But this one's pretty good, and it's a pretty comprehensive. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Yeah, thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate you. It's nice to be not in the hospital. But we are. That video is pretty good, and then I'll put the other half up sometime between now and maybe I'll just wait till Sunday to let you digest the first half, because again, it's a lot. No one should probably watch that. Thanks, Mark. We will. I'm gonna work on. My wife's going with me, so I know I'll be safe. But check those videos out. I try to post a little something. I'm trying to get back in the swing of posting something on social media every day. And then Andrew and I are here every Tuesday-ish night. So join us next week.
We'll post stuff all the time.
Yep. So thanks, guys. Have a great evening, and I will see you next week.
Have a good night.
Our time is too short, it's over now. And we hate to say goodbye, but we'll be back next Tuesday night, or at least we sure will try.